we got a story for you. There are red flags to look out for that could be getting in the way of you and your home sweet home.
Indeed, joining us to share the biggest mistakes renters make and to make sure that you are not making those mistakes is Surrey Realty real estate agent and friend of the show, Talia Mckinney. Hi, Talia.
Hi, thank you for having me back. I'm so excited to be here.
We love having you here.
Yes.
So whether you're looking to rent or to buy, two things: inventory is low, and prices are high. Okay, that's it. That's the segment.
Thanks, everybody. It's great to have you here.
Yes.
What do we do?
No, it's a little crazy. So the market is a little bit crazy. So rentals, it's the lowest inventory we've seen in the past 4 years, which is a little scary.
Does that mean people are moving into New York City? I mean, is that what it's...
That shows that New York City is on fire. It's hot. Everyone's coming back to the city. Everyone's back to work. So, so the average rent right now is $5,000 a month.
Oh,
which is a little crazy. So the good news is something like that, you can pivot to potentially become a buyer because, you know, interest rates have dipped a bit. When I see an opportunity where there's, you know, low inventory for rent, you're like, okay, maybe I can become a buyer instead. So that's why you should have a good agent to connect you with a lender to see what your, what your monthly payments would be. Because while you're paying $5,000 for rent and you're paying the landlord's mortgage, why not, purchase something for yourself?
Right,
so,
and it's not always a straight one-to-one, right? Because you do get some deductions on the tax end of things. So there is
first-time home buyer loans you can look into. So
that's why you need a pro.
So that's why you need a pro.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
The tips are, if you're looking to buy or to rent, to make sure you have all of your documents prepared.
Yeah, even before we even get to that.
Even before we get to that. Yes.
You say don't wait too long to apply.
Correct. So you need to be able to pull the trigger quickly. You need to have all of your documents for rent, all of your your income taxes, your W-2s, your letter from your employer, like all of those documents have to be ready because things are going within like the hour. There's lines out the door, so you need to be prepared, but you also want to be smart about it. Right. You need to look for the red flags, which is important. You don't want to walk in and just pull the trigger on something.
Right.
A lot of people, there are scams out there, so people are saying, submit your deposit sight unseen. Don't do it.
Oh gosh.
Don't do that. Okay.
Don't do that. You want to see the apartment. You want to walk through. You want to, sometimes there's smells in the apartment that you're like, something seems off. Listen for noises of upstairs neighbors, noisy neighbors. Are the windows working? This is for buying and for renting. Right. Test the water. What is the water pressure? Is the hot water working? Is the cold water working? We're going into the summer season, so you're not thinking, what is the heat like? In New York, we know the radiators make those loud noises.
Clang, clang,
make sure you're asking
part of the
things.
charm. It's part of the charm. Make sure the oven works.
Make sure the oven works. Make sure you're doing the due diligence, although you're like, I have to move quick. Look for the red flag.
Well, that's the concern, right? That mindset of like, there is scarcity in the marketplace, so I have to make a fast decision. And so people don't do all the things that you're saying and they end up getting burned. On the other side of this, you also say don't negotiate too hard or you could lose out on a deal entirely.
Yeah, you can lose out. You're thinking, okay, let me try to negotiate. Let me try to get a deal, which I understand, which is why brokers are really good because there's other ways that you can negotiate. Like, hey, I'll do 13 months instead of 12 months. A lot of landlords want that. Or if you're buying like, hey, I'll buy in like 60 days rather than 90 days. Like you kind of want to work with the other party to see what they're looking for. And if you are trying to negotiate too hard, they're like, hey, we have 5 other people who are in line who are going to take this before you do.
Right.
Oof.
Yes.
Okay, so reaching out to multiple brokers.
Yes.
What is...
I think that is something, a lot of people think like, hey, if I reach out to 5 different brokers, I'll get different listings. It just makes things chaotic. You want to work with one trusted advisor, preferably me, of course. But if it's someone else, that's fine. But if you have 5 different brokers you're reaching out to, they're all sending you the same information. They're reaching out to the other party. It makes things complicated. It looks unprofessional. Right. You just want to work with someone that you trust, and you can interview them as well. It's two-sided. You want to work with someone that has your best interest, but working with more than one person, it just gets chaotic and crazy.
That's like dating 5 different people.
Exactly.
Could you imagine?
Right? No.
That's exactly what I tell my clients
but only
too. I'm like, you don't want to do that. We work hard for what we do, so it's like you want to stay committed.
That's right.
Indeed.
That's right.
You also say that misjudging your budget can be problematic, not factoring in some of the monthly costs you'll be facing as a renter or a buyer.
Yes.
Right?
Closing costs for purchasing.
Yeah.
A lot of applications. There's application fees for rent, move-in deposit, move-out deposit. So I like to tell people, look a little bit below your price point. It gives you a little more room to negotiate higher. Like if your budget's $2,500, look in the $2,400 range. It gives you more negotiation power, and it puts you in a better position to say, hey, I can increase it $100 a month. And then yes, you have to consider moving is very expensive, so you have to consider those costs as well.
It's hard sometimes to, like, I see so much construction happening where I live in Brooklyn. I see so many big buildings going up, and then I hear housing crisis, and it's hard to square those two things,
It's just so, it's New York. Everyone wants to live here.
Yeah, that's true.
So many people are coming in, and they want the best, and so it's just, you know, a feeding frenzy pretty much.
But do your due diligence.
Do your due diligence. Get a broker.
Yes.
Call me. I do rentals and sales.
And she'll go for a run with you, too.
And I'll go for a run with you as well. You know, I do it all.
Talia, thank you so much for telling us about the red flags to keep an eye out for. Give her a follow on the gram at Talia Mckinney. Ooh, man.